Okay, so I'm Melanie. Today we're going to be analyzing some charts together. So if you guys have any requests for any charts that you want me to go through, feel free to pop them into the comment section or in the Q&A section, and we'll definitely go through those. Okay. So before we begin, disclaimer as usual. The information expressed in this presentation and on the following slides are solely those of the presenter and not necessarily those of Vantage. Solely used for educational purposes and do not constitute investment advice or consultation on how a client should trade. So, trading margin FX and CFDs carry significant risk and is not suitable for all investors. So, you should do your own due diligence before investing or trading with your own money. And Vantage accepts no responsibility for any loss, including without limitation to any loss or profit resulting directly or indirectly from reliance on such information. Okay, here's our team. So we have Desmond, who is our Chief Trader and CEO of Everest Fortune Group, finalist for Best FX and Equity Research in 2019, 2020, and 2021. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let me just check our chat and see if we have any requests so far. Okay. US 100. Okay, let's go ahead and start with US 100. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, great. Okay. So as usual, first thing we like to do is look at a larger time frame. So I'm going to take a look at monthly. Okay, maybe weekly. So that we just kind of get a sense of where prices are heading. So we can see a significant increase in price. And price is currently increasing as well. Now let's take a look at daily. Okay, we can see a general uptrend on the daily as well. Okay. This is the 4-hour time frame. You can see prices are dropping from this peak over here. Okay, now let's analyze on our 1-hour time frame. So let's see if I have a channel here. So over here, I have a price. I can see prices are moving within a descending trend channel. So what constitutes a valid trend channel? We have 2 peaks as well as 2 troughs that's touching our trend channel. Okay, so now that we have, I think I have a negative trend line as well. Okay, no. Okay. So now that we have our general trend direction, let's go ahead and plot out our support and resistance lines. Okay, so here's my first support. Okay, second support will be at the lowest point over here. So for our first support, we can see that price, this is an overlap support since price touched swing high over here, and it also touched swing lows as well. Okay, we can see price is already kind of approaching our first support. Okay, now let's try and look for a resistance. Okay, I'll put my first resistance over here at the peak first, and then we can adjust it later on. So now let's pull out some Fibonacci levels. Here I can see the 50% lines up nicely with my first support. Okay, actually, I'm going to put my second support over here at the swing low. And this is a pullback support. We zoom in because we can see price has pulled back this level twice before. And we can see that it's also in line with the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement. So I'm going to clear the rest. Okay. So this should be clearer. Now let's see if we have any other levels. Okay, so for projection, we typically use these three levels, the 61.8, 78.6, as well as the 100%. Okay, I can see that I have a second resistance over here at our second swing high, and it lies in line with our 100% Fibonacci projection. Okay. So let me see if I can find any other Fibonacci levels. Okay, doesn't look like it. So now that we have our general trend, our Fibonacci levels, as well as our support and resistance levels, now let's pull out some indicators to support our analysis. So we like to start with Ichimoku because at one glance we can see whether the indicator supports our bias. So in this case, price is moving below the Ichimoku cloud, which gives us a bearish bias, so it does support our analysis. However, we will only go in for the buy once price actually breaks through the first support, because our first support is, let me just label this. So our first support over here is an overlap support, right, which is a significant level. And we also have an area of confluence because it lies in line with our 50% Fibonacci retracement. So price could bounce off of this this level at at 12138.5. But since we want to follow the general trend, which is decreasing within our bearish trend channel, we will wait for price to break through our first support before going in for the sell over here towards our second support. Okay, now let's pull out some more indicators. Okay, so let me zoom in. On our MACD, you can see that price is starting to show a little bit of bearish momentum as well on our MACD. So it does support our analysis. Okay. So I'm curious to know what indicators you guys like to use. So because we normally stick to Ichimoku, MACD, RSI, as well as stochastic, and occasionally Bollinger Bands as well, or moving average as well. Because there are so many indicators, there are about 100, and they are likely to give you different indicators each time. So we stick to these 4 normally, but I'm curious to know what you guys normally use. You can just let me know in the chat. Okay, but in the meantime, let's take a look at RSI. Okay. So over here, you can see that on our RSI, price is showing okay, let me remove my MACD so it's clearer. Okay. Price is showing a hidden support over here between the 2 vertical lines that I'm highlighting over here. Whereas on our price, we can see that there is a very distinct increase. Our price has made a higher low in this on our price chart, whereas on our RSI chart, price is horizontal over here. I hope you guys can see that. So we call this a divergence, a bearish divergence. So it could indicate that price is going to break out of this increase from here to here, and it's likely to drop. And we can see price has already dropped. It's already beginning to drop towards our first support. So it does support our bearish analysis, but we will wait. As I mentioned earlier, we will wait for it to break through our first support due to the confluence area in this at this point. So what happened now is that price could likely either break through, which is what we are hoping, or we could see it bounce off of our first support. But in this case, all of our indicators so far have shown us that there is bearish momentum. So let's try one more indicator. I'm gonna try stochastic. Okay, so for stochastic, our bearish divergence is even clearer now. So between these 2 points, price is making a lower low on our stochastic chart, whereas on our price chart, price has made a higher low. So this could suggest price may continue to drop from this point. So it does support our bearish analysis. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Gonna check the chat. Okay. So no questions. Let's go ahead and analyze our next chart. GR. Okay, so same thing, we're gonna look at the larger time frames first. So we can see a general uptrend for sure on our monthly, on our weekly. Yep, general uptrend as well. And daily uptrend as well, 4 hours. Okay, so all of the previous time frames all give us the same bullish momentum. Let's take a look at 1 hour. Okay, so now let's start our analysis on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so you can see that price is moving within my ascending trend channel. So we have our general trend. Now let's look for support and resistance levels. Okay, I have a pretty significant level over here. Once again, this is an overlap support. So what constitutes an overlap support? Price has touched one swing high, or actually in this case it's touched two, and then price has pulled back and it's touched this support level again at a swing low. So that's what makes it an overlap support, and a pretty significant level to take note of as well. Okay. So here I have my second support. Okay, here's my first resistance. Okay, so now let's pull out some Fibonacci levels to support our levels. So for retracement, we typically use these 5 levels at 8.2, 23.6, 50%, 61.8, as well as 78.6. So you can see now 38.2 lines up nicely. 78.6 also lines up with my second support, so I'm going to remove the rest. Okay. Let's see if I can find any projections. Okay, no. Okay, I think that's about it for Fibonacci levels. Okay, I'm gonna add another level over here. where price currently is at. Why? Because this level, we can see that price has tested this level many times before. Here we have a swing high, swing low, and price is currently testing this level at the same level of 15593. Right. Okay. Okay, so now I have my 23.6 level that also lies in line with this significant level of resistance. I'm going to make it a dotted line. So you want to follow the general trend of this chart, which, as we've established earlier, is a bullish trend. So we could see price dropping to the bottom of our trend channel before bouncing off again and approaching our first resistance. So that's our general analysis. So now, same thing, we're going to look at some indicators to support. So I'm going to pull out Ichimoku and Genki first. In this case, Ichimoku, you can see price is just about hitting below our Ichimoku cloud. On our MACD, it's showing us a bit of a bearish momentum. Which is fine because we are expecting it to drop down to our trend, to the bottom of our trend channel. Okay, so now let's take a look at RSI and stochastic. Okay, I think for our RSI, we can see that price is increasing. Price is moving in an upward trend. Let me just see if I can find any hidden levels of support or divergences in this case. But it doesn't look like it. Yeah, okay. So apart from telling us that there is an upward trend, that's about it. So let's take a look at stochastic. Okay, so for stochastic, I'm going to draw two vertical lines again to mark out where I am analyzing. So on our stochastic, I have a horizontal line, whereas on our price, we can see that price is increasing. So this actually tells us that this is a bearish divergence. So it tells us that price could actually drop from where price currently is, which is over here. So we could see a drop from here. So to answer your question, I think, do you think the channel will break the channel downwards? We actually there isn't enough evidence to support that price could break out of our channel, apart from our stochastic over here. But even for our stochastic, this horizontal line here, it's quite a distance from where price currently is, because price is currently here. So this support level over here is a bit of a distance from here. So it's not enough to support that price could break out of our ascending trend channel, or that there is bearish momentum. Yeah. Okay, let me just stop sharing. Let me take a look at our chats. Okay. Okay, all good. Do you guys have any other requests? If not, I'm gonna take a look at some major pairs. If you guys have any other questions or any requests, you can feel free to pop it in the chat or in the Q&A section. Okay. Okay, if not, let's take a look at some major currency pairs. Okay, let me clear this chart. Okay, let's take a look at dollar yen. So on a monthly time frame, you can see it. There is a general uptrend from over here, right? Weekly. Okay. So this is our daily time frame, and we can see that price is climbing back up. Okay, 4 hours. Price is definitely going up. 1 hour. Okay, so let's analyze on our 1 hour time frame. Okay. So price is currently moving in an ascending trend channel. We also have a ascending trend line. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, sure. So we also have an ascending trend line. So we have very strong bullish momentum for our dollar yen over here. Now let's take a look at some support and resistance levels. So a typical rule of thumb for your first support level, we want to have it closest, the swing low that's closest to where current price is, which is over here. Okay, for our second support, here, okay, here. So once again, we see for our second support, we have an overlap support here with a swing high and multiple swing lows. Okay. Now for resistance, general rule of thumb, if you can't find multiple swing highs or swing lows that line nicely with your level, we'll just find the closest swing high to where price currently is. So it's over here. Okay, so now that we've gotten that, let's pull out some Fibonacci levels. Okay, so my 23.6 lies nicely with the first resistance. Okay, I think that's about it. Okay. So now let's pull out some indicators. So over here, we can see price is dropping. But because we want to follow general trend, which in this case is bullish, we're expecting price to bounce off of our trend channel as well as trend line and head back upwards. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So we can see price is currently moving below our Ichimoku cloud, which gives us a bearish signal. Okay. For Menki, it's also giving us a bearish signal. Now let's take a look at RSI and stochastic. Okay, we're gonna look for some trend breakouts to see if it will break out of our ascending trend channel. Okay, so let me just highlight the portions I'm looking at with the vertical lines again. So if you take a look at the spaces that I've highlighted on our RSI, you can see price has made a lower low to where price currently is. But on our price chart, price is making a higher low. So what does this indicate? Once again, it's a bearish divergence, which could indicate that price can break out of our ascending of our trend channel and trend line. But to be extra safe, I will wait for it to fully break out of the trend channel before going in for the buy for sell, sorry, towards our first support. Okay, now let's take a look at stochastic to see if it tells us the same thing. Okay, once again, we can see price is making a lower low on our stochastic as well. So with all four indicators that we've tested giving us a bearish divergence, it could tell us that it gives us a very strong bearish signal that price is likely to break out of our ascending trend line and ascending trend channel. Okay. Okay, let me just stop sharing and see if we have any questions. Okay, are there any other requests that you guys have? Okay, let me check. Um, okay. Okay, if not, let's take a look at another currency pair. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, now we're going to be looking at Euro USD. Okay, so same thing. We're going to start with the monthly time frame. You can see there is a general downtrend for Euro USD. On a weekly, we can see a downtrend as well. On a daily, okay, downtrend, but it seems price is climbing up. 4 hours. So I'd like to do this for each chart before we start analyzing so that we have a general idea of where price is heading towards or where price was in the past. Okay, now let's start analyzing on our hourly time frame. Maybe 4 hours. We typically won't analyze on 5 minutes to 30 minutes because that's too much noise. Okay, so here I have a descending trend channel. Or maybe not. Why? Okay, no. But we can see price is moving in a descending trend line. Okay, we can see price is heading downwards. Okay, so now let's go ahead and plot some support and resistance levels. Okay, so here's my first resistance, which is the closest swing high to where price currently is. Over here will be my swing first support. Okay, let me just reload. Okay, Euro USD. Okay. So here's my first support. Once again, here's my my first resistance. Okay. Okay. So here we can see price recently broke out of this ascending trend channel. So we can expect price to continue to drop. Okay, so so we have a bearish bias. Okay, and here's my second support. Okay, so now let's pull out some Fibonacci levels. Okay. So I can see my 38.2 lines up with my first level of resistance. Okay, I'm actually going to highlight this level because we can see that price has tested this level many times before. Okay, so we can see, let me zoom in, can see price has tested this area of resistance many times before, and it's now an overlap resistance. You can see the swing highs here, swing lows, and then now it's a swing low, swing high again. This is an overlap resistance. Okay. Okay, so now that we have our Fibonacci levels and our resistance and support levels, let's pull out some indicators. Let's take a look at Ichimoku. So we can see price is currently moving below the Ichimoku cloud, which gives us a bearish signal. If we take a look at MACD, gives us a bearish signal once again. Okay, now if we take a look at RSI, okay, RSI isn't really telling us much. So we can remove that. Okay. So for RSI, I have a horizontal level here, but we can see on our price chart, price has made a lower low. So this could suggest that price will continue to rise from this first level of support. Okay, now let's take a look at stochastic to see if it tells us the same signal. Okay, yeah. On stochastic as well, price is showing us a hidden level of support, but on sorry, but on our price chart, price is making a lower low. Okay, do you guys have any questions or any other requests? Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing so I can check the chat. Okay. Okay, which trade should you invest if you're a beginner? For beginners, typically you want to start first with a demo account. And once you've increased your chances of, once you're more familiar with it and once you are more comfortable with the technical analysis, then you can go ahead and start your live trading account. So you can start trading with major currency pairs. Let me share my screen. Like the ones that we've done, like the last two that we've done. So we did euro dollar and we also did dollar yen. Yeah, all of these are the majors. So you could do dollar franc or Aussie dollar as well. Just to get more familiar with the tools that you have on TradingView or on any trading site that you want to use, and get comfortable with which indicators you want to use as well. Because there are so many indicators out there for you to use. So it's up to you to decide which ones you're more comfortable using. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, I think we have time to analyze one more major currency pair. Let me see if we have any other requests. Okay, no. Okay, but let's analyze Aussie dollar together then. Okay. So once again, on the monthly, we see that price is dropping. Weekly as well. Oh, weekly. Weekly, we see that prices are trending currently. On a daily. Okay. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame, we see prices dropping. And on the 1 hour, we see that prices are dropping as well. So let's analyze on a 4-hour chart. So I can see prices are moving in a descending trend line. Let me see if prices are moving in a descending trend channel. No. Okay. Now let's go ahead and plot our support and resistance levels. So this will be my first support. And you want to pull your level of support or resistance as far back as you can without cutting the body of the candlesticks. Just so that it shows you how strong the level is to see whether price has tested it many times before. So here's my first support. Okay, here's my second support. Okay, and my first resistance over here. Okay, so now let's start adding in our Fibonacci levels. So once again, we're making use of these 5 levels. Okay, and I can see my 38 lines up with my first resistance. So I'm going to keep that. Okay, and I can see that I can have another second level of resistance over here. And this is a pretty significant level as well, because price has tested it many times before, and we can see it is an overlap resistance with one swing high, 2, and then a couple of swing lows before price pulling back to this level. Okay. All right, so now let's pull out some indicators. Ichimoku MACD. So price is moving below our Ichimoku cloud, giving us a bearish signal. On MACD, price is showing a red area, also giving us a bearish signal. So this supports our analysis. So now let's take a look at stochastic. You can see price is moving in a descending trend line on our stochastic. So it also gives us a bearish signal. Okay, so one more, let's do RSI. Okay, so RSI is also giving us a bearish signal with prices moving in a descending trend line. So now that we have all 4 indicators that support our analysis, you are more sure that prices are going to continue to drop. Okay. Do you guys have any questions before we end? Okay, if not, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Next Tuesday, we will be having an educational webinar on support and resistance levels, so be sure to tune into that as well. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.